Once again, she fell on the ice after her triple Lutz. She had prepared so many times for this moment. She had practiced and practiced and practiced. She had completed that landing of that jump successfully over and over again. And yet here she was, sitting on the ice in competition, her humiliation overtaking the cold feeling in her hands as she propped herself up in this familiar feeling. What am I doing wrong, she asked herself. What is it that stops me performing when it matters most? Why can't I do this? Her coach enveloped her in a hug as she walked off the ice, such a welcome contrast to the icy tones she was delivering to herself inside her mind. For a moment, that trusted connection diminished any negative feelings. I've arranged for you to meet someone, said her coach. I know that you've put so much hard work into your routine, and I believe there is nothing stopping you delivering the same incredible performance when you compete. Well, actually, I do think there is something stopping you, and I think what's stopping you is inside your mind. Stunned, the girl protested and announced that she wanted to give her best during every competition, and she was always thinking about how she could give her best. So how is it possible that her mind could be stopping her when it's her mind that drives her on so much the moment she steps on the ice? Please just open your mind for a moment, just for a short while. If you can briefly see yourself through my eyes, you would realize that you put so much pressure on yourself the moment you step onto the ice during a competition. The pressure comes from what you say to yourself inside your head. Just work with me here. Do you trust me? Do you? Of course I trust you, said the girl. Good. So come with me and meet this person. And it's a good thing to wonder where we're going and how we arrived where we are as we ponder the questions and observe life. And as the girl arrived at the lakeside with her coach, she was suddenly confused. It's the middle of summer, we can't skate here. You assume we're here to skate, said the coach, and yet we're not. We're here to talk to somebody about sailing. Just as the girl was about to ask another question, I sure you know which question she was about to ask, she saw a little boat gliding across the middle of the lake. A beautiful blue boat gliding across the glistening water at sunset. And then it turned, as if by magic, and with seamless ease and travelling in the opposite direction, it just sailed seamlessly across the water. The girl was mesmerized. The longer she watched, the more beautiful the sight became, and tears came to her eyes to show her that her soul was still alive and well. She couldn't believe how this boat seemed to dance and glide across the water, as if it were performing a slow tango, ebbing and flowing across the waves. What seemed to her like an hour later, the boat suddenly appeared in front of her. Wow, she said to the small man who jumped out of the boat to secure it to the shore with a rope. Can anyone learn how to handle a boat like the way you do? Certainly, said the master boatman. But remember, if you want to be a good boatman, don't worry about controlling the boat. Don't worry about controlling the boat, she said, taken aback. Well, if you don't control the boat, how can you handle it? Well, you don't have to worry about the boat. Just make sure you can swim. And if you can swim, you can control the boat, said the boatman. If a man can swim underwater, he'd know how to handle a boat when he's given one. He can get the knack of handling the boat and become a good boatman in no time. Puzzled by what the master boatman had said, she decided not to ask another question, and her drifting mind was interrupted once more by a different voice. To start with, she couldn't understand where the voice was coming from. And then suddenly she saw a small man sitting next to a small pile of fishing nets. His feet were dangling into the lake and his hands moved at a lightning pace to fix any holes in the nets. He didn't even look up, It was as if he was talking to the water. A good swimmer will in no time get the knack of boating. That means he's forgotten the water, said the old man. If a man can swim underwater, he may never have seen a boat before, and still he'll know how to handle it. And this is because he sees the water as so much dry land, and the capsizing of a boat, the overturning of a cart on land. The 10,000 things may all be capsizing and backsliding at the same time right before him, and nothing can get at him and affect what's inside him. So where could he go and not be at ease? Added the old man. This is how the best performer renders his best. He has laid the ground for the performance, and when it's time for him to put it at his best, to perform at his best, he has no concern about performing. The skills are there for him to play with. He can enjoy them as he chooses. It becomes a game. He's like the swimmer who worries not about the water when boating. When he's performing, he's not in the art of performing. He's not directed by his desire, but by the flow of the Tao. By letting go of his attachment to the performance itself, he performs without performing. He is at his best by being effortless. I want to be effortless, said the girl. Well, what is it that is not effortless for you? Asked the master boatman. Ice skating competitions, said the girl with a deep outward breath. It's fine during practice. In fact, I'm magnificent during practice. But when I know it's a competition and I'm being judged, everything becomes a struggle. Ah, so you focus on performing in the competition rather than practicing for the next competition. You turn your performance into execution, taking the sparks of excellence and ease out of the rendition. You can't perform because you're actually performing. Huh. The girl smiled at her coach. With a sudden expanded awareness, she realized what she had been focusing on when it was time to compete. She felt a sense of peace and calm wash over her, and she knew, all of a sudden, that her next competition performance might be even better than her practice. And she also knew that she was going to enjoy it more than any other competition before. And so we learn that trying is the same as not trying, and not effort and effort are also equal. Therefore, not struggle and no effort is more comfortable and easy and relaxing as we go deeper and deeper into the game of life. Moreover, we know that effortless is ease with practice and enjoyment of the present moment.